You're listening still to the same show, Era, and Eric and Andy and Zach still here in the studio with me. No phone calls yet, but I can see why we're lonely. I mean, wouldn't you say? Would you turn off the radio station if you heard? Okay, let's start over. If you heard some weird guys on the radio station this early in the morning, would you want to stay tuned? I mean,
yeah,
would you turn
actually,
it off?
I think I would. I think I would.
Tired to do anything.
Oh, see, that's him.
If it's on the station, just keep it him.
See, sometimes I flip
That's
through
a
the
good
stations
attitude.
before I go to sleep, and if there's one that sounds good, it's usually chaos, then I leave it on there.
Yeah, but it's more than anything a weird night. So as we all can tell, and
most
the
definitely.
night I was totally hoping for us to be able to discuss Christianity, and I didn't want to tear on it or anything like that, but just kind of discuss, because it's not discussed about or talked about very often. So
How should we discuss it? I mean, Christianity is a pretty broad topic.
it is
in
a pretty
itself.
broad topic, but the thing is aren't you going to be at church in like 6 hours or something?
No, me personally, no.
Oh, okay.
Not
Well,
going to
half
church.
my block is going to be. So anyway, I guess we're talking about that. The amount of people who believe in our country, and the aspect or the way we see them is totally different from a foreigner. And if you were a foreigner from another country and you came here and you experienced it for the first time, what would it be like?
Is that
Let me tell you. Oh, sorry.
what they call culture shock?
Is that culture shock?
Is that culture shock?
I would probably say it would be. It would be pretty shocking to see somebody dunked in water for a baptismal, wouldn't it?
Have you ever watched Channel 56?
What is Channel 56?
Well, I don't know what it is, but the other night I was up real late, and I happened to change it to Channel 56, and there was this man on, and I will tell you no lies. He was telling people to send in donations of $1,000 to pledge to Jesus Christ, and make a donation and somehow make a change in their life. Oh, you know, he was kind of a psychic about it, really. You know,
So did you-
he'd call on
did
psychic powers. He'd be like, I think there's someone in our audience who needs to make a pledge. Yes, you need to make a pledge out there. There's somebody else that needs to call in their $1,000 pledge. They haven't done so yet this week. If they could do so, they need to make that change in their life with Jesus Christ. Yes,
So,
you need to send in your money.
Did you donate or did you not?
No, I didn't. I was really drawn to this man because I couldn't believe the lie that he was telling. And
Do you think he was lying? He was telling the truth. Where are you?
well, okay, just one thing. Let me just point out one thing. At the end of the show, he brought out cake and he shared it with the rest of the people on stage. Now, this part of the show, he was munching on cake and handing it to people. I kid you not. I was watching this with my eyes on television at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he'd take a bite of the cake and he handed it to somebody
It
in the
changed his
studio.
life.
He was like, "Oh, here, Jim,
Yeah.
here, have a piece of cake," after he'd taken a bite out of the damn cake, you know?
Well, it's holy cake.
Well, you just, "There you go, Dave, try out the angel food." I
There's a
mean,
guy who's
what's
got
up?
kahunas enough to go ahead and try to sell you something, right? On
Oh,
TV at
send
3
us-
o'clock in the morning.
Make a vow with Jesus Christ. Oh, and they showed this lady.
Why do you have to help Jesus with money? Seriously, I mean, what's
It's
so
the
materialistic?
indulgences, man, dude. Let me tell you about
Indulgences,
that.
and that's where we discuss Christianity. Is the fact that it seems that when it comes to being consumers, it's okay. I mean, usually, like for after you go to church, if anybody's a churchgoer, which I would have to admit that at one point in my life, yes, I did go to church,
Yeah.
and there were certain things that happened on Sundays. You'd go to church, and then afterwards, you'd like go eat someplace, right?
Yeah, like brunch.
Exactly, like brunch. Woohoo! So.
That's what IHOP was for.
So is that ceremony? Is that tradition? What is that? What is that? Seriously, this is America, man. Come on, you have tribes all around the
Thanksgiving
freaking
Day.
world.
I'll
that
tell you, our
that have,
culture,
like,
our culture is just like that meal you get at Sizzler, man. You buy it on a $7 plate. It's all you can eat, and it's just crap, and it's not good for you. That's what our culture is like, man.
the views discussed on the show do not reflect those of Chaos or Evergreen State College. If you have to voice your opinion, please don't do it now. Call during normal business hours. Other than that, frag off. Okay, on with the show.
But that's not all culture, you know. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, and once again, breaking back to KOS 89.3 Community Radio. I have to do that at the top of every hour. I have to, like, give an ID so people know what they're listening to. So, I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning, if you happen to across a station where they were talking about hypothalamuses or something.
Epididymis.
Yeah, and
Someone
listening
should be
to...
waking up to this right now. 3 o'clock,
You
alarm
think?
clock goes off, you're talking
radio. What is that crap on the dial?
Actually, I think we've been playing some really weird stuff. They probably, like, couldn't figure it out. They didn't know if they were still dreaming or what. Like David Lynch has invaded their, like, space or something.
I really wish a caller would call right now and
Well, I don't
challenge
think they're going to
our biased
because
views of Christianity.
how could you? How could you call a show with, like, seriously?
No, really, I think a Christian people would feel quite obliged to call unbelievers like ourselves to
You
try to
think
change
a
our
Christian's
minds,
gonna be
to
awake
preach to
at
us.
3
And
o'clock
I
in the
want
morning?
them to right now. I want, if they can hear me right now, it'd be nice if they called and tried to change our minds. I want to hear the argument, you know? No, that's nothing like that, man. I just want to hear what they have to say. I mean, convince me of this stuff, you know?
Well, you know, if we get a phone call from a Mormon, that would be special. That would be a special delight because, you know, I would like to ask him why, what's his name, started the Mormon religion by finding a couple golden plates in his backyard that he uncovered, and the next thing you know, he's like, oh my goodness gracious, Jesus gave me some information here about the Mormons. Next thing you know, they go into Utah and they start their little cult, and yes, it's a cult, of course, we all know this to some degree, or is that cause for debate? I would have to say that all religion is cult. Plain and simply, religion is there somebody throwing rocks at the window?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we might have a caller, but I doubt it. So. Oh, okay. That's just overmodulation. So no worries.
Oh.
Okay. So the fear is gone.
I think Tim knows what he's doing. By the way, I don't think we need to interfere with his skills at this point. I think he's done the show long enough that he knows what the lights mean by now. You know.
Well, thanks. Yes, I do somewhat
I hope
know what
so,
the
at
lights
least.
mean. I wish we would get a caller, but seriously, I think we've once again scared them away.
Maybe we should touch up more on this Christianity thing.
Okay.
Kinda went
Well,
off on that.
Eric,
So,
why don't you
okay.
take it away, man?
Okay, this donation thing, you were talking about channel something.
56.
56,
Some
giving
reverend.
donation. It was more not for Jesus Christ, the Savior of humanity.
Speaking in tongues, might I add.
But it was more for the church, more for the congregation, more for, you know, it's more for the materialistic part of religion. The money is not for our Lord.
Well, that raises an interesting debate. I think
Save your money and just go out and...
exactly go out in the woods and have some sex and drink some beer. Actually, no, that's probably not what's going to happen. And I would hope that that's not what they're breaking away from religion to do. But regardless, anyway, nature is wonderful, and I feel that when we separated ourselves from nature, science and religion came about. And at one point, there was a time, I believe, that religion and science were one. We didn't have to think about things two separate ways. We just knew the way, you know?
Yeah, it seems like we've just been inventing more ways to differentiate things, and so we just make ourselves more complex and just give ourselves more different labels to just justify things.
Put everything in little Tupperware containers, put it away in a refrigerator.
Little logistic little things, little rational boxes that we can handle and deal with, aside from like what life really is, which is, you know, not anything to do with that, but, you know.
So are we philosophizing? Are we telling people to give up religion for philosophy?
No, it's...
And what point...
I don't
what
think
is
it's
philosophy? Philosophy isn't a science, is it? Is it a science? I don't think it is. That's because, I mean, the state won't fund you. If you go to school and if you were a philosophy major, maybe it's not philosophy, maybe something else.
I don't think
maybe they changed it now, but they wouldn't pay.
I don't think you could study philosophy in any university in the United States.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Well, I'm sure you could get a degree in it, but to really know spiritual things, I don't really think that's something you could learn in a university. I think it's
You can't pay to get your food, man.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay, so you see it as a spiritual.
yeah.
Yeah. Eric, any comments? Anything? You're the fuel for the show. Keep it burning.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
This is not good.
Why is it not good? Is it scaring you too?
Let's keep on going with this. Well, actually, I was kind of thinking about other things when you guys were talking about this, but
Nachos and cheese and peanut butter.
maybe about that kind of stuff and how I can analyze it and make it a topic for religion. Hey, okay.
So, do you buy the whole deal about when Satan came to the Garden of Eden, he grabbed an apple and
Satan
tempted.
did that?
Yes, and tempted Eve with the apple, and Eve said, "Yes, I'll take the apple. I'll take it back to my loved one, and I'll give him a bite because he loves it." And he took the apple and he took a bite. Well, it took some coaxing. She had to, Apparently, this is what the Bible's saying. So I'm curious. Do you really feel that that kind of is somewhat sexist?
Is that
It's saying that the woman is the one who was tempted and actually took the temptation from the tempter.
This isn't Christianity's fault, though, by any means.
It's
Modern
taking
logic,
women
though.
Put them
well,
on a
that's
different level.
over a long period of time, interpretation.
Yeah.
And these are all, well, I don't want to say this, but, well, I guess stories, and they're, clever.
They're parables?
They're myths.
Is that what they're called, parables, or
moral stories?
something?
Well, that's our
Fables.
man's first sin. That's where we learn, I guess, the word sin.
Yeah, original sin. Yeah.
Original
see?
sin.
Yeah.
That's almost like
Whoa,
original
whoa,
gangsta.
Yeah, see? Original sin. That's why we're all supposed to be screwed, apparently, according to some religions.
Well,
From birth,
if we're
no,
already
no.
screwed, then what we're basically doing is, from what you're saying, taking what you just said and running with it. Okay, so we realize that we messed up. Okay, we have a fragadeled world that we're living in, and
We live in sin from birth.
And we
we
were
are
born
in
into it.
sin.
and we don't know
Fornication.
anything about it, or we didn't get to make the choice to be born into it, because right now there's some serious stuff going down, isn't there? You guys, would you care to back me up there with there's some serious stuff
There's
going
always-
on right now?
Yeah, there's always serious stuff
Everywhere
going on.
around the world. We're talking global. It's like
we don't know. Let's put it that way.
we don't know. It's really hard to fathom.
Absolutely no paradise on
What we can guess
Our-
is
I would like to say that if everything is just a way of mind or a way of thought, if you think positive, maybe it will eventually become. I really feel that also that life and society is just like a bunch of mirrors. And when it comes to religion, like even Christianity and even in Buddhism, you can find this. The whole idea of treat others how you want to be treated, that's the whole mirror thing. It's like when you look in the mirror, do you scowl at yourself? What do you do when you wake up and you look in the mirror and wash your face? Or whatever it is that you do in the morning? How do you look at yourself?
and try to.
I guess that's a little psychology for ourselves when the next time we wash our faces. But
It's usually tired and all like I don't know, different sides have lines on them and puffy and hairs all over the place. But I don't remember that time of the day usually.
I think
But
it's
it's usually during. I know what you're saying about the mirrors though. You treat people the way you want to be treated, but you go through life and certain things happen. Some people have tougher times in life than other people, and some people just can't have a positive outlook on life, especially people who just have given up. And
Some animals can't live without feeling too good either.
animals,
Yeah, we feed off.
We're
both
animals.
our
well,
environment.
we're all
We are
animals. I mean, if you hate your dog, beat your dog, that's kind of a reflection of
Yeah.
what you
Exactly.
are feeling to the dog. You're giving it negative,
Exactly.
you get negative back. So you treat other people like this, but not everyone can
Bravo.
feel this way. So there's always two sides to everything. There's always
Yeah.
negative and positive, yin and yang. We can't get away from that with
They're
human beings. We're
ditto.
never going to get away from that.
well, I like exactly
can't
what
have
you're
a plan.
talking about, but I'm also feeling the same way. And the way I describe it for myself is feeling balanced, and
Feeling
also
balanced,
knowing
right in the
that
middle, yeah.
knowing that life is kind of simple and somewhat can be summed up in some words. And I think common sense is a very interesting paraphrase or whatever. Common sense. What is common sense? Common, everything belonging to everyone that we all know. And sense, hey, we have senses. We're alive. That's how you know you're alive, is because your senses are working right now. Your ears,
Thank
your
God.
eyes, your butticus. Okay, well, if you have a butticus, give us a call, because that would be an interesting topic. 866-5267. Anyway, yeah, so stuff like that. Now, I'm lost, so Eric.
Christianity.
Yeah,
Gotta
totally.
talk about Christianity. Well, no, any type of let's generalize it, because when I tend to think about just one topic, I usually analyze it too much. I want to give myself so much where I just have to generalize the whole thing. So religion itself, it must be a way of feeling closure with yourself, with feeling whole, connecting the mind, body, and spirit. If you want to go spiritual, religion is spiritual.
Filling that gap that when we go home and we watch TV, and when we've had a long day at work and we want to relax, and we totally sit down and we try not to think about things because we're always constantly busy, always drinking our lattes and our mochas early in the morning on our way into work, where we have that buzz that carries us through the day, but by the end of the day we're suffering burnout, and we have friends to go ahead and carry us through to the sleeping hour. So it's like, what is there? What point does your spirit actually get to be refreshed? At what point does your body stop taking over? Because it's like our bodies is what is throwing our spirits through our environment or through the world itself. And so that's something that is a certain part of our awareness, That's pretty much who self is, I suppose. And like once you become aware of self, I think if more people would be aware of self in a way that's not selfish, that we'd probably be okay. But there are too many selfish people in the world, because when they get in positions of power,
about
well,
what they've interpreted throughout life and what they feel they've established in their noodle. Noodle, yeah. You go through the day, and you have go to work, and you talk to one another. You live out your life. Some people feel like they just know a lot more than you just because they've gone through a lot. I'll say for one, ethnicity. You are a minority. It's kind of scapegoat. You feel like you're higher because your culture has lived through a lot more. So it's kind of touches on that, just a self-righteous attitude. Very big-headed about.
Well, totally. Would you say that patriotism is even kind of like part of that too?
Well, that's kind of the masses, though. That's still like a modest, just for the fact that it has to do with just the mass. There's a huge number of people who are feeling the same way about their country.
They're very strong.
Okay, so if you're saying that we're all uniformed of minds, or at least we're all connected,
well, common
which
sense.
common sense tells us that we are connected, because you're a group of friends that watch your football games, and you can go ahead and get together and hang out and talk about the football scores in your team, and not to mention people who, just being people, I suppose, finding a way to be connected with each other. Well, that connection is already there.
Would you say that common sense is too easy to prove then, because it's too common sense to
Exactly.
prove
It's kind of like Taoism. Tao is the way, or at least, that's an interpretation in English, the way. And it's also described or defined other ways too. But simplicity. I mean, we make everything complex. That's the one thing that the human brain is effed up, because we think too much. I can't stop thinking, man. I want to go to bed sometimes at night, and I'm just lying there thinking, and I can't stop. Sometimes I have to hit myself in the head with a big stick. Okay, well, I don't do that. I usually just take a bunch of sedatives and go to sleep.
NyQuil, dude.
NyQuil. Nighttime picker-upper. Wait. Damn it.
Take her downer.
Damn commercials. Commercials. Would you say that their songs and their ridiculous garbage that goes on within them affects the way you think? Seriously, when you sit there and watch your television program...
Yes, we had an experience with this today at the theater, actually, with Pepsi Cola.
Was it wait a second. Was it the one with the little girl in the Wild West?
Yes.
Oh my God, that makes me want to vomit.
Yeah.
That is such trash.
That's
believe
complete shit,
they
dude.
bore the audience with that. I mean, come on. Describe it, Andy. I want to hear you and Eric
My
describe it.
description of it?
Yes,
Oh,
let's
well.
hear it.
No.
Eric, go for it.
Wait, say this?
It was a Western thing.
It's a Western thing where the Pepsi girl goes walking into some saloon.
Yeah, it's some
town
cute
shooting everybody
oh,
up.
yeah,
or something.
little
doesn't at the end
Hollywood.
She squirts out some guy's cigar and says, "No smoking."
Yeah, basically telling the audience in a Wild West, entertaining, lovable way that if you don't shut up and if you don't stop smoking and put away your beepers and your telephones, I'm gonna shoot you in the
Get
head.
a Pepsi. If you don't get a Pepsi, you're gonna get.
We're watching you. Be
Exactly.
nice.
Exactly.
Be nice.
So, by the way, we have DB.
buy
we have,
Pepsi.
Dolby sound. We're Dolby surround sound. The screen is big enough, by the way, and the atmosphere is comfortable because our refrigeration units are turned on.
Yeah, it's climatized totally. It's
Exactly.
all you feel real
The theater
comfortable. in
is
the theater.
a place that we go to indulge our senses and make believe.
It's
The last movie I saw was with Jake. He took me along, and he wanted to go see a movie, and I wanted to see Shanghai Noon. You know, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, totally.
And he ended up taking me to see the world's worst movie, Gone in 60 Seconds. Gone in 60 Seconds. I thought Nicolas Cage. I thought before that I had respect for him, you know, because like he's been in some good movies, even David Lynch work, you know.
Yeah.
And what the hell is he doing in 60 Seconds?
Yeah.
Because that is the most stupidest movie I've ever seen. That's like somebody that wants to be like Dukes of Hazzard nowadays,
See,
I guess, in the city.
The story still, nowadays in movies, the story usually doesn't go over too well. But the cars, you gotta, just like the special effects. I
Yeah.
just saw.
Yeah, but it's just noise, and there's always an edit. Like there's always a cut every
Yeah.
like second or minute, so that it keeps
something new.
things active.
Something new. Moves something
And
else.
it just shows you nothing but garbage. These people are going around stealing cars for some dork who like cuts furniture, and that's his character. He's some guy who likes. He's called the Carpenter, and he's got like an English accent, and he's carving furniture, and he loves furniture. There's an ending scene where Nicolas Cage is like coming at him. Finally, in the end, he's about to kill him or whatever, and like he picks up one of his wood like masterpiece little desk thingies, and he goes to throw it at him. He's like, "No, don't throw that!" It's like, oh my god, that really added to the cheese, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, a villain who is a carpenter who makes desks. Is that hardcore enough?
That's
Well, see, it was kind of the ironic thing that he loved wood and he liked stealing cars. He hated steel, but he loves the wood. He's kind of a poetic type.
Maybe
the
sculptor.
criminal.
Okay, so this is the experience of the movie, I guess, in the theater. Now, when you walk outdoors and it's not climate controlled anymore, and it's a little warmer, and maybe even a little bit more humid.
The movie
And
sucks.
yeah,
in
and
memory.
then daylight all of a sudden floods your senses.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're in a motor vehicle now, driving away from the theater, when you
Oh,
finally come to
that's true.
outside on the lane, and you're like, "Wow, what the hell just happened?"
Yeah, well, even when you get up out of your seat and you walk up the aisle, you actually feel like you're doing something strange because you feel like you're pulling away from something that was, had your attention for so long, and you were just watching it, like eating it up,
Exactly. But you know what? I would have to say something like that is part of our natural being. And like
Well,
if you go
yeah.
out in the woods and if you truly appreciate nature and if you are truly alive, you will find beauty in everything, even something simple as a slug crawling across a trail. Slugs are truly an amazing animal. Think about it. Everything, you guys agree that
I wouldn't
in
disagree.
evolution,
No.
right? In some form of evolution,
I thought we were
correct?
talking about Titan 8 here in movie theaters.
Well, we were, but now
But now
we have
we're-
evolved to slugs.
Evolved. See, that's good. That's good. That's
Yes,
evolved.
it's a slow evolution because movie theaters are bad, and we're talking about experiences because we go in there, turn off our brains and like, oh,
yeah, the
like
feelies,
lose it
like
for a minute.
Brave New World. They have
Even
the
though
feelies.
in Gone in 60 Seconds, I was thinking about falling asleep, but eventually I ended up just taking a whiz, And that's usually difficult for some movies for me because it is such an experience, It's like boom, 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 and whatever. Lots of
you didn't
loud
fall
sounds.
asleep though or anything.
No, but
How could you with the motors and
it's
revving engines and
it was awful. So, and I want to get over it because that was a weird experience and
What do you
weird.
feel about the movie Shaft?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the movie Shaft? Maybe we could play some kind of music or something?
Music would be good.
Because of obviously we have just ran cold, everybody, and we've realized that it's 3:20 in the morning and this is the show era, and we have absolutely lost it. Would anybody else agree?
I think people should join in. If they're listening to this and they don't know what the hell's going on, I think they're obligated to pick up the phone and call Chaos right now and ask us, what the hell are you guys doing down there?
And what's the phone number?
I don't know.
Come on, guys.
866 KAOS.
Okay, what's the number version?
8603.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. 866-5267. You'll confuse everybody. Next thing you know, somebody at that weird number you just gave is like getting a phone call and they're getting all pissed off. So, anyway, I'm going to play some music here from a friend in Portland. Hey, Zach, Lucas is getting married July 5th, and this is his music project called Azul Productions, and the song is called Son of Lung. I played it, I played it during other shows too, so I hope you guys don't mind if I break and play some music, and then maybe we come back for a little bit more and then go to bed, because it's late enough to do that, right? Okay. We have a caller who has given us a ring this early in the morning. Caller, state your name, please. Who are you? Who are you?
Ryan.
Ryan. And Ryan, why did you even bother calling us?
Well, I was up and couldn't get to sleep tonight, and I was listening in my son's room. He had his radio on, and I heard a couple of people talking about Christianity. His words stuck out, and I was wondering what my son was listening to. So I just kind of sat in his room and sat there and thought, what's going on? I realized there's a radio. You guys are asking people to call in. I'm just wondering what you guys are up to this late at night, I don't understand.
Well, I hope we haven't offended anybody. If we have, did you get the phone number for calling the station and voicing your opinions if you might be pissed off because maybe your child heard something that was a little bit odd?
I just wanted someone to talk to. I'm ready here to talk about my Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're ready to talk about who?
Jesus.
How do you answer that?
Hello? You guys just laughing at me now?
No, we're not laughing at you.
Come on now, Jesus Christ, man. You believe in Jesus. I don't get that feeling from you.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus.
Could you describe...
Jesus is all I know. I know Jesus, My parents take me to church every morning. But I just don't know. He's all I know is that it exists and created me. And now I hear people are telling me I should believe in something else, I just don't know what to believe in. I just know that what Jesus did was right, and that I believe in him for what he did.
What was that?
And that's what Christianity means to me, and I don't know what Christianity is tied to. I don't know, but I just have my own sin to deal with, and I'm hoping that Jesus is out there, I really hope it's not a lie, because I believe.
It's 3:30 in the morning. Eric, what would you like to say to the caller?
Well, I don't have headphones on.
I might as well make the statement that our caller is somebody that we rigged. We are so desperate for phone calls at 3:30 in the morning that we've even employed the services of one guest, Mr. Who are you on the phone? Ryan.
I don't think Ryan was one of the guests. Did you hear a Ryan at the guest? I didn't see any Ryan at the guest. I remember seeing Zach.
Come on, guys. I'm just trying to give props to Christianity for what it is.
And what is it?
I don't know. It definitely has got a lot of people's attention, and whether the ways that it got into power, and the word of Jesus, I think, is what's missing, and a lot of people
Zach,
Go
I
to
have a question
church.
for you. Did you go to church?
Do I? No, man.
Did you ever?
A couple of times.
A couple of times.
But I know I've taken a religions class.
A what?
A religions class?
Jesus. I think
What's the matter if I went to church or not? Like,
It's not a matter of whether you go to church or not. It's not a matter. It's just a matter of like experiences and being able to talk from them, or speak of, or talk
It's
of.
not
what you
even
know,
really a
right?
speech thing, though.
I've
not
been
a speech
influenced
thing?
by the church.
It's a faith. It's faith, a word of
Faith,
religion.
but you know, the one faith that predominates my everyday life, I guess. No, not humping, Andy. The faith, the faith that I have is my eye sees something, I hear something, I can touch something. My senses are alive, and everything I touch, it's like this reality becomes, I guess, what I believe because it's here and it's happening.
Very simple.
Yeah,
It's easy. Well, it's right in front of you.
exactly. So why do you have to have faith in some guy who pulls rabbits out of a hat? No, I'm not talking about Jesus here, guys. I'm not. I'm talking about the
Something about
magician. I'm
experiencing
totally talking about something else, okay?
But when you
Magicians,
watch
when they
him,
show you
Sam,
magic tricks, you
Sam-
know they're pulling something, you know?
But when you watch it, and you watch him pull a rabbit out of his hat, and you don't know where the rabbit came from, and not knowing, and making the trick to something that is to be known, which is the rabbit out of the hat. That's where you find the followers who believe in the magic, right? Because they don't know how he did it, but they're willing to believe that he did do it, and they saw him do it, right?
The rabbit?
Yeah, out of the hat, dude.
A god and rabbit are two totally different things.
Oh,
We're talking.
we're talking about magic.
Well, are we talking about two different things when we talk about...
Religion's not a magic. Religion's not magic.
It's mysticism. It's
What is?
explanation to
What is
something
mysticism?
that we can't.
What is mysticism? Sorry, I didn't catch what you said mysticism was.
Religion, just the theories of placing the reason for existence, and no one really knows where we came from, but this is a big long story, and so we make up our little myths.
Myths have been around for a long time, even before Christianity.
Exactly, and religions are formed from myths. But they're also truth. Like, the word myth can be stretched. Because it's just from what you've heard from someone, right? What someone told you about what is.
Exactly, and that's an interesting point because if you're to speak of religion, religion's a lot that I guess can be summed up or at least described in that way.
Yeah.
For every culture and every tribe, they had a way of being able to pass on information, and the natives of this particular area would tell stories of coyote and raven, and they were creator spirits, and they were like myths, you know, but they had to do with their culture, and they also had to do with don't walk out in the woods at night by yourself, otherwise, you know, you become some snack for some interesting tribal monster. But and then in other places around the world, similar things, you know.
And Jesus, the rabbit that was pulled out of the hat, that, you know, a way that was known before, but now it's been changed. A man who's been brought back from death, from God, you know. We all see death as the final destination, kind of, right? I mean, final destination for our physical bodies. Death and Jesus. I mean, there's a strong connection with
But that,
Jesus and death.
that gets
right?
into
But the
more
thing
of
is,
the
you called
science.
Jesus a rabbit that came out of a hat.
Yeah, well, he's
What if Jesus
kind of...
might be Santa Claus?
What's that? He could be Santa Claus, dude.
But you know, every I don't know, every Christmas nowadays, as I get older, like Christmas sucks more and more.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
Losing faith?
because of the whole
Losing faith in-
consumerism,
Yes.
the blind consumerism, the fact that people go out and buy their kids certain toys without even thinking about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into Pokemon because I know you play it, Zach.
Oh, God, every day religiously, man.
Okay, well, when it comes to things like that, I see that as a fad, a faux pas, or whatever, something within culture in which
Fun.
it's part of our consumer culture. That's one thing that'll go down in our history books is that Pokemon they sold a lot. They took over Burger King and all the children, and they took them to Pikachu Land.
But even I found love for Jigglypuff, dude. I just look at him, and he's big, round, and puffly, and I can't hate him, you know, because all he's got is his puffly love for me.
Did you say the same thing about Barney? He's still a purple dinosaur. Come on. That's
I
just
know,
like
he was great. You know,
Pokemon
I defended him when people were saying...
I'm sure you did, Zach.
I had a Barney bank. I put my money, you know, I trust Barney. I keep my money with Barney.
First bank of Barney.
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. Only 3:40 in the morning on this show could you find such weird ass stuff, right? Eric, you know, I want to ask you something.
Buddhism, Barney, Pokemon.
How long are you here for? Are you here for the weekend?
Oh yeah, I haven't even explained that. I'm from Spokane, all the way across the strait, checking out Olympia. It seems like a really nice city. It's a lot prettier than Spokane in different ways, but a lot more greener.
Oh yeah,
natural. It's a rainforest.
Well, and also evergreen.
Evergreen. It's yeah. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'll probably be going to the school hopefully sometime in the future.
Wonderful. I bet you everybody will be excited.
Oh,
I'm excited.
So.
Woo!
Tired.
Yes. Exactly. Sleep depth. Woohoo. Woo. And Andy's over there like playing with his lip and making weird sounds like that guy who wanted a baby Ruth. You ever remember Goonies?
No.
Come on.
One-eyed Willie.
That's interesting, actually. The character that was the pirate was named One-Eyed Willie. What is a One-Eyed Willie? Seriously. Come on, what is a One-Eyed Willie?
It's the dude.
Goonies.
The sea captain, of course. He's got semen.
He's the goon, dude. The goony guy.
Yes, this is wonderful music to some degree. I don't know. What do you think? You have a phone number and hopefully a phone, 866-5267 or 866-KAOS. Either way, I don't know how you like to remember your phone numbers. Okay, so that track was Listen by Jamie Myerson off of the 90500 compilation, The Law of the Land, some jungle drum and bass. Before that was a track off of another compilation disc called Brassic Beats, and I'm sure you probably somehow figured out that it was Fatboy Slim, Show Enough. So this evening, I wanted to be able to have some guests in my studio to maybe start some dialogue and even get a phone call from a friend of mine. His name is Chen. That's about all I'll say. And well, he's from Taiwan, and he's got himself an American girlfriend, and has had an interesting experience, a big cultural, point, I guess, for him. I'd like to talk more about it, so hopefully they'll be here soon, and actually I see the entry light coming on, so they'll be here very shortly. So stay tuned for most interesting show this evening on Era at KOS. Yes, you are. You're still awake, and you are back in the studio with Tim, and the song, what the hell was that song? Figure that out. Himalayan Trance, double XD off of the Red Buddha compilation Tibet Trance. So, anyway, on with the show. We have guests in the studio. From my right, we have Zach. Zach, are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Good. Okay, and to my left, we have Andy and Eric.
Hi.
I'm here. I'm definitely...
And I got everybody's names correct?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's a great start. So, anyway, what are we going to be talking about tonight, guys? I have something that is queued up in the CD player, and maybe when we come back, we'll have something to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. And if you, the listening audience, happens to be awake, 866-5267 is the number to call. Yes, Andy?
I think we should play number 2 off that. Or
Okay.
one of those tracks off that CD.
How about can we do that during the next break?
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, wonderful. So, yay! Woo! Okay, on with the show. We'll be right back. Talk to you soon. Okay, the song's lying to me. It's telling me it's got 3 minutes and, 7. It is? Did I stop it too soon, guys? Did I?
You stopped there at the right moment.
Why is that?
The rest of it might not be good for
The audience at home, yeah.
Okay.
little kids could be listening.
Can you get a little bit closer to the microphone? Hey, Eric, can you get a little bit closer to the microphone? Not a problem. I just can't hear you. I got the headphones on, so that's the only way I'm able to hear what's going on with you guys, and so you're a little muffled. Because I don't have headphones for you, by the way. I'm sorry. So I hope that you're able to hear what's going on to the best of your ability.
Yeah,
Good luck,
can you hear the
Special
people
Agent.
Out in the audience, out in the radio world, no?
Yeah.
Use headphones, can you? Is there anyone out there?
Actually, all I hear is a buzz besides the talking, and so I guess the buzz must be the people, or at least somebody's brain, maybe, while they're asleep or something. I don't know. Zach, you're here in the studio. You got your headphones on. What do you think? You think that weird buzzing is something weird, or is that okay? Does not bother you?
It's almost like the Monday morning alarm, you know?
I think. Okay. So anyway, that's Zach, everybody, and it is now
what happened to that song?
2:35 in the morning. What? Which song?
You said you interrupted that song.
I did interrupt the song, and I could come back to it if you'd like.
No, that's fine.
Okay, well, you guys are Brain Seltzer, okay, and we're gonna focus on that now. So, Brain Seltzer, explain what this is all about. Anything that you hear tonight on Chaos 89.3 Community Radio does not reflect the views of Chaos or I guess the folks that are listening. So if you have any questions or would like to make some complaints or register comments or something, call during the day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 866-5267, and register whatever it is that you might have that you're questioning. But for the most part, enjoy the show, and
Your brain is buzzing. Buzz it!
Timmy?
Yes.
Timmy.
yes, Eric, explain. What are we listening to?
What are we listening to? It's a mixture of several days of recording. Let's see, we have George Thompson in the background doing the psychedelic scat, as we call it. And let's see, me, Eric, on the percussion, and let's see, Andy is doing what? What are you doing, Andy?
I'm not sure.
Oh, he's doing the guitar. What am I saying? He's on the guitar. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So you guys were just chilling out in your basement when you guys did this?
Well, see, this has really gotten to the point of, we've been playing for a few years together, and we've gotten to the point where we just started experimenting. Yeah, experimenting with music, because we're very bored with it. But, yeah.
This
is actually Andy rapping.
This is Andy rapping.
Oh, you guys are listening
They like a cheese with their meat. Them motherfuckers trying to rap, talking about all that crap. I want to tell you, yo.
This isn't Andy, dude. This is DJ Sporns right here.
Trying to be down.
Who?
They don't know
DJ
what's up
Sporns
down.
right here.
They haven't seen the shit. Motherfuckers
I
down
still didn't catch it. Who?
Sporange, baby.
Orange.
Yeah.
Did you see a light?
Come back. Shit. But as time goes by,
Actually, we recorded.
remember your shit.
No, we're not.
No, it's
I think you scared everybody away.
What's on there, dude? the deal. I gotta play my pig on the string, every beat, everything. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Watch me groove out. Check it out. It's about 4:20 into the song. Oh shit, 4:21. Motherfuckers.
This is some weird stuff, guys. You got a lot of explaining to do. 866-5267. Come on, guys. Let's spice up the evening, right? It's 2:38. Give us a call. Let's talk about something. Jen, if you're listening, we need your phone call. You know the number. I'm tired of saying it. So anyway, talk to you soon.
Word up.
I think that's an interesting tidbit of information. That George, a member of your group who is, did you say scatting right now? Okay, so this is him. And he's been on the show. So basically we have the full band except for which member? That's been on Chaos and talked on the show era.
Bassist, cellist, vocalist.
Yes, a weird show indeed. It's 2:41, and when it's this late or early, and how you look at that is totally up to you. When you're awake at about this time, sleep deprivation becomes a major issue. And I am definitely going through some sleep dep right now, man. I don't know. Oh well, though, because last night I spent the evening up with nature, up in the mountains, up in wonderful, the Olympic Peninsula, away from man to some degree, except for some guy with a big pickup truck with horses on the back. Yeah.
What a beautiful area we live in, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Really.
That's the little patriotic moment. This early in the morning, but is that really
nothing
patriotism?
Patriotic about it? No.
Okay. And breaking away from patriotism, I have total faith, and I'm proud of you guys. You guys are great. Brain seltzer. So is that something like you take for headaches or what? Well, what do you take Alka-Seltzer for?
You take Alka-Seltzer when you've eaten some food that doesn't agree with your stomach, and so then you buy some Alka-Seltzer, which is a seltzer product, and then you yeah, really. And so
so that's the whole the concept behind brain seltzer then.
How about Brian Setzer? Maybe Brian Setzer?
No, really, George. Yeah, well, no, that it goes into that, but George really came up with the name. Actually, Shannon, his girlfriend, but it's a whole long story.
The name before Brian Setzer was Scirocco.
That's right, and actually had Ryan Leeds in it.
Ryan Leeds, isn't he cleaning right now?
Yes, he is cleaning. I think he might be listening. Hopefully, he's listening.
Does he have a stereo? Did he say it would be on?
Oh yeah.
And how did he swear that to you? Because you know when it's like 2:00 in the morning and it comes to the radio show and people actually listening, some people say, yeah, I'll listen and I'll even give you a call. And Tim, that topic that you wanted to talk about with that whole Christianity and stuff, I was going to call you, but they haven't. Chen, why haven't you called? I know it's early. Maybe you've fallen asleep. Well, here's your wake-up call. Call 866-5267 so we can talk. Trust me, guys, it's a good thing that everybody needs to listen to this night. And I'm going to talk to Zach now. I'm going to tell him that he is messed, but that's okay. Because I love him. But that's okay. We're going to come back. Right, Zach? You okay?
I'm fine, man. What did you want to talk about? I'm cool.
He's got the giggles, everybody. A severe case of them, and he's infecting us with them. So, anyway, please,